Hey everybody, welcome to the channel, and today we're going to take a quick look at the Great Commander's Pass that just released on December 15th. So came out for me today that I'm recording this, but for everybody else just a couple of days ago. And we're going to do a deep dive comparison of just kind of looking at some of the leaders in comparison to their counterparts that are already in the game. So they've built Japan to be basically your standalone Civ. Like, you really don't need to go explore the world as Tokugawa, because you can just rely on your own domestic trade routes and you're always going to be loyal. So don't have to worry about loyalty. Let me just read off his ability. International trade routes receive minus 25% yield and tourism, but domestic trade routes provide one culture, one science, and two gold for every specialty district at the destination. Cities are also within 6 tiles of the capitals are 100% loyal after researching flight. Oh, and after researching flight, receive one tourism for every district. I really do like this ability. Just because if you're the type of Civ player that doesn't like going out and having to declare war on others to take their cities or have to work with others to get alliances and whatnot, this is going to be the perfect civilization for you because you can just build your own network domestically at home. Don't even have to really go out that far from your capital. Just stay around 6 tiles of the capital and you've got 100% loyalty. Don't have to worry about it. So that is a really nice ability. Now, comparing him to his counterpart, Hojo Tokimune, who's been out for years at this point in Civ 6, I really do like the new take on Tokugawa. Um, just as a recap for Hojo, he will get +5 combat strength and land tiles adjacent to the coast, and naval units also receive a +5 combat strength and shallow water tiles. He can also build districts a tiny bit quicker, and with the Rise and Fall expansion that just came out a couple of years ago, the hurricanes, you don't receive damage from hurricanes. So that kind of interesting. I've never had that happen to me or seen that in a game, but kind of fitting, I guess. But overall, I guess it depends on the kind of player you are when you play as Japan. Just because all of your other abilities are going to be the exact same. Both Hojo and Tokugawa get the Samurai unit and the Electronics Factory, and both of them have the Meiji Restoration as well for being Japanese. But if you're a war like Civ and you don't want to play a domestic solo game, then I probably would not play Tokugawa just because you won't be able to really survive if you're trying to send trade routes. The bonuses are specifically for you being a standalone Civ. But if you are a warmonger, you'll probably want to stick with Hojo. We're going to jump down now to Persia, talk a little bit about Nader Shah and Cyrus. So let me read off the Sword of Persia ability for Nader Shah. It's +5 combat strength when you attack full health units. Cities not founded by Nader Shah receive +2 faith and +3 gold on domestic trade routes. That is going to be your complete opposite of Tokugawa. If you're a warmongering player, Civ player, you'll love, I think, Nader Shah, just because if you're attacking any healthy units, you get that really nice +5 bonus, which actually can be quite significant. His other half of the ability, the cities that are not founded by Nader Shah receive plus faith and gold on domestic trade routes. That only can be applied if you take foreign cities. Realistically, you have to be a warmongering Civ for half of his ability as Nader Shah to even apply. So definitely go out and conquer, take cities. Cyrus is also amazing if you are a warmongering Civ player. Just because his ability, you get +2 movement for the first 10 turns after declaring surprise wars on another civilization. Then you also get additional loyalty bonuses for occupied cities with garrison units. Definitely, I don't think you can go wrong with either, if I'm being honest. Just because the additional movement, if you're playing as Cyrus and you've got like hill terrain or rainforests and woods you've got to go through, it is so nice to have that additional movement. You can get from your empire to their empire in 1 or 2 turns, and from one city to the next city, relatively 1 or 2 turns as well. It's just, I guess, pick your own poison, because you can get the additional loyalty and movement bonus, or you can also play as Nader Shah, like we just saw, and you get the additional combat strength when attacking full strength units, full health units. Now, the last Civ that came out as part of this update is Suleiman the Magnificent. So we've got now a double take on him. We've got Suleiman the Magnificent and the Grand Vizier. As the Magnificent, you will get 15% science and culture when in a Golden Age or Heroic Age. +4 combat strength when not in a Golden Age or Heroic Age against civilizations who are also not in a Golden Age or Heroic Age. So it seems to me, honestly, like this might be the perfect combination if you like attacking a little bit and kind of being a warmonger player, but you also like building your empire up and just going for maybe like a cultural victory and that aspect of the game. Just because of his ability that you get the +15% science and culture whenever in a Golden Age or Heroic Age. Like, that can be huge, especially if you know how to manipulate the era score within Civ, which is an entire another conversation. But if you know how to do it and you can go from era to era, always staying in a Golden Age, then that genuinely can be a buff that'll almost last the entire game. Just that flat 15% science and culture. The other thing that's really unique about this is that combat strength bonus. So you kind of saw with Nader Shah, I mean, he gets the +5 combat strength against full health units. But in this case, if you're playing as Suleiman the Magnificent, you'll get it whenever you're attacking another civilization who's not in a Golden Age, as long as you're also not in a Golden Age. So, for example, if you're playing on Dramatic Ages, the game mode below, um, that could come in really clutch, actually, just because you're forced to either be in one, a Golden Age, or to not be in it, and you'll be in the Dark Age. So that would definitely be an interesting game to play Dramatic Ages mode with Suleiman, just because you'd always be getting one of these two buffs. Now let's go and compare the Grand Vizier version of Suleiman to that of the Magnificent. So you are losing your unique governor with the military and diplomatic abilities, and also the Janissary unique unit. Now, the Janissary unit is actually pretty interesting. So it replaces your musketman, is going to be cheaper to build, and also has higher combat strength. So overall, I mean, way better than your traditional musketmen. I want to run through all three of them and at least give my opinion on whether or not I think the new version of the leader or the new leader is any better. Personally, I prefer Tokugawa now over Hojo, just because I really don't, especially if you're playing a continents map, his ability really doesn't come into play almost at all, period. Where it would come into play is, I guess, if you're playing on an islands map or like a fractal map that's got a lot more coast that you're on with your naval units, and well, the shallow water with the naval units, and then coastline with your land units. So definitely Tokugawa, I think, is an upgrade to what Hojo is. I do have to admit I was a little disappointed with Nader Shah, just because Cyrus, I feel like his ability is still stronger. If I were to pick a game as Persia, I would personally still pick Cyrus to play rather than Nader Shah. Now, his ability is unique and cool, and I do like that just because we haven't seen that with any other leader. But as Cyrus, I don't think anything can beat that extra movement and the loyalty and the fact that surprise wars only count for grievance purposes as a formal war. Like, you just, I think those are stronger. I really do think at the end of the day that's going to be stronger than anything that Nader Shah is going to give you with that +5 combat strength against full health units. And finally, going back to the Ottomans, of the three civs that they released and leaders, I think these two, the Grand Vizier and the Magnificent, are the most equal and balanced. Um, with that being said, they're very different in playstyle. I think it just depends on you as a player. I am just a little sad though that you're losing that unique governor and the Janissary unit, just because both of those have been really nice. I've played as the Ottoman before, and that's what made the Ottomans so unique. Was not necessarily the Janissary, because every civ has their own unique unit, but the unique governor, especially Ibrahim, you're losing him. Probably do like the Magnificent just a tiny bit more. So I think it was definitely a cool move to add this as a dual, having Suleiman both personalities. But we'll have to see. I definitely would like to play a game as the Magnificent. And that's going to be the end of our comparison of the new leaders for this new pack that just released. But let me know down below in the comments if you would like to see me play any of the new three, because I definitely want to start a new campaign. My Rome campaign as Julius Caesar got actually corrupted, which I'm really sad about because I won't be able to finish it, even though I just barely got started. But with these new leaders out next week, I'll be starting a new campaign, and I'd like your thoughts on which one I should play. But see y'all later.